AI has created a new trap for entrepreneurs, the research trap. You can have research that would have cost you $10,000 2 years ago and taken 6 months. You can now have it done in just minutes. You can have a thesis produced on any topic with just a few prompts. And that's exactly the problem. This came up in a recent Q&A with a client who had completed her ideal client interviews. She had all the feedback she needed to move forward with building her business model. But when we talked, she said, "I'm just having some more deep research done, and I'll get started." 2 weeks went by, and she told me she was still in deep research mode. She was using AI to dig deeper and deeper into the client's problems. Now, I've caught myself falling into this same trap, just wanting to know a little bit more before I get started. And I'm telling you right now that this is a trap. The deeper and deeper research hole is a perfectionist game that really only gives you a justifiable reason to procrastinate. Today, we're going to get out of the research trap, and I'll show you exactly how to know when enough is enough. Here's what the research trap looks like. You tell yourself you need some more data. You schedule more interviews, you run another analysis, you read another book, you take another course, you generate another AI report. And because all of this feels productive, you convince yourself that you're working really hard on building your business. The reality is that reading books is just a flush of information unless you implement what you learn. We can all agree on that, right? Yet we keep gathering more and more information, more deep research, more reports, more analysis, like we're building an academic thesis instead of a business. And we want our business to be perfect when we launch, but perfect means rigid. The other day I was swimming. I train in an open water Olympic pool. And there was a jellyfish swimming in there, a big one. I would have called it, I think, a Medusa. When I first saw her swim under me, yes, I got very scared. But after she didn't sting me, I just observed her for a minute. She could move fast, then slow. She could send her tentacles any which way, and I just kept praying they wouldn't come my way. And she was just gliding, but she was moving against the current. I just thought, what a metaphor for business. Business is like a living organism. It's always moving. It's always changing shape, always interacting and reacting with its environment. You can't think of your business like something stiff, like something rigid, like a building where you're going to have to get everything millimetrically correct before you start construction. It's more like a living, breathing thing that needs to adapt and respond in order to survive and grow. So back to my client with her endless research. When I finally got her to stop and look at what she'd gathered, she already had absolutely everything she needed. Business is about solving real problems for real people. And when real people have already told you exactly what they want, exactly what they're willing to pay for it, and exactly the ways they want to receive it, you don't have to keep asking a machine to go deeper. The additional research wasn't really going to add value. It was just adding comfort. It was her way of staying in the safe zone where she didn't have to risk putting something out there. I could see it because I've been there too. So I told her, look, you have enough. In business, you have to give yourself a deadline. Draw a line in the sand and say, I'm going to do 10 interviews in 2 weeks and then create a pilot, and I'll adjust along the way. Your business isn't something you perfect in private and then unveil to the world. It's something you build with the world, in conversation with your clients, responding to their real needs as they come up, getting feedback from people who are already using your service. Right now, because of AI adoption, things are changing so quickly that I'm focusing with my clients entirely on building pilots, not on building a model that they'll be doing in the same way for the next 5 years. That just won't happen anymore. Needs are changing and adapting way too quickly. The business model you perfect today may be obsolete in 6 months. Let me give you an example of how I caught myself doing this last year. One of the skills I wanted to work on developing was storytelling. And so I read probably 4 books on storytelling. I bought David Hutchins' story deck. I studied the Moth framework. I studied Nancy Duarte, John Truby. I even interviewed a filmmaker. I did workshops. But you know what I wasn't doing? I wasn't actually telling stories. I was just studying how to do it. I had become a storytelling scholar instead of a storyteller. I could tell you all about the hero's journey, the 3-act structure, how to build tension and create emotional peaks. But when it came time to actually telling a story, I was stuck in my head thinking I just needed to learn a little bit more. And so I launched this podcast, which forced me to use what I was learning. And here's what I discovered. No one cares if you've applied a perfect storytelling framework. People care if you draw them in, if you create curiosity, if you create an emotional connection, if you show them conflict and resolution, and if there's something they can learn from the story you're telling. My first few episodes, they were probably just okay, but each week I feel like I'm getting better at weaving in personal stories, at finding the right moments, of knowing when to pause for impact. Things I could have never learned by just accumulating more research. Going back to the jellyfish analogy, going back to my Medusa analogy, the jellyfish, it's about being in movement, stretching, and adjusting along the way. The research trap can become a perpetual state of just getting ready to get ready. In my own business, when I think I know exactly what my clients need, I launch a pilot and they teach me exactly what they really need. The pilots I'm running right now are nothing like what I planned 6 months ago. They're so much better because it's been shaped by real interactions with real clients solving real problems. All right, so here's your way out of the research trap. First, set yourself a hard deadline. I'll launch my pilot on specific date. Give a specific date with whatever information I have. Put it in your calendar, make it real. Second, think pilot, not perfection. You're not building your forever business model. You're testing a hypothesis that will evolve. With AI and as fast as things are changing, everything is a pilot now anyways. Third, remember the jellyfish. Your business is a living organism that needs to move and adapt, not a building that's made to stay unchanged for decades. Let your business move, explore, respond to its environment. And fourth, implementation over information. One real client interaction teaches you more than Gemini's best deep research reports ever could. Allow your clients to guide you on where you need to go deeper. Don't just ask perplexity. The deep research hole is seductive because it feels safe. But your clients don't need your perfect solution delivered someday. They need your good enough solution delivered next week so that they can get their problem solved. I'm Melissa Marchand, helping accomplished professionals build consulting businesses they love. If you know someone stuck in the research trap, please share this episode with them.